Hola mi gente, welcome to the Money Chisme podcast, where we spill the real chisme on building wealth without the bullshit. Whether you're trying to invest, grow that side hustle, finally get your money right, or my favorite, buy rental properties, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Violeta, a first-gen Mexican immigrant, real estate investor, entrepreneur, and your financial hype woman. Get ready for tips, tricks, and expert advice straight from nuestra comunidad, porque el dinero es power and we're here to claim it. Don't forget, you can always find helpful resources down in the show notes and in descriptions, so make sure you check that out. Probably heard how real estate investing is evil. Now, there's no denying that there are slumlords out there. There are real estate investors that are really trying to squeeze every single penny out of tenants, out of, home buyers. Landlords are greedy. Owning property means that you are part of the problem. Honestly, I grew up thinking the same thing, but there is one moment that changed my perspective on everything. But when I was in the Navy, I went to my very first ship. Our captain, our commanding officer, addressed the crew and gave one of the best speeches that I have heard, and it really impacted me, and I still carry that with me today. Because here I was, a young sailor, early 20s, right? This was just my second command and my first ship. And you hear the horror stories of, of course, there's a horror story everywhere you go, every type of job you get. But you'll hear how, there's bad leadership and, ship life can be rough and ship life can make or break you. And so when our captain addressed us, I remember sitting in that stadium and how he shared his story, right? He had been in the Navy for quite some time by this time, and he joined at, I think he was either 17 or 18. Throughout those years, he did see bad leadership. Also saw how people, his peers or just other leaders, good leaders, they were just like, you know what? I'm done. I am fed up. I'm just going to get out. And they would leave. And I myself also saw that throughout my naval career. And this is when he said something that impacted me and still stuck with me today. He said that as he was seeing all the good sailors, the good leaders just leaving, he's like, well, if all the good ones are leaving and all the bad ones are staying, then nothing is going to change. So he made the decision to stay because he was like, you know what? I want to stay and make a difference and change what I can. And he did. He did change things in that ship. He changed the morale. He changed our lives, because at that time I stayed in the barracks, which is basically housing for young single sailors that are too young to be allowed to live on their own. But those barracks were old. The carpets were dingy, like things were so outdated, and we complained, and our captain heard us and he fought for us. We got like new gym equipment. We had a new gym. They fixed, gave us new TVs, and like he really improved the quality of life. And there had been other ships there, and their captains were okay with putting sailors there, but our captain was like, nope, we're going to change that. And he fought tooth and nail. And there's many instances throughout my time serving under him that uh, he made impacts like that. No matter how high he went, if he can help somebody out, he would. And that speech stuck with me, and just his moral values. His motto was integrity at the helm. And I carried that with me throughout my naval career. And that same logic applies to real estate investing because if all the good real estate investors or the good people don't get into real estate investing, guess what? The bad ones are still going to go out there and buy, rental properties, real estate. They're still going to stick around. And guess what? Nothing's ever going to change. And we are seeing that now. We are seeing how money is being used to buy power. And it has been through years, right? It's just we don't tend to kind of notice it. It's very blatant now. And that power is being used to hurt our, Latino community with the ICE raids, with rights being taken away, the detention centers. Like those people are making money through of our suffering, of our community suffering. And with real estate is the same thing, people, the bad people are going around buying these houses, these properties and hiking up rents, making, our lives just like squeezing every little bit of life that we have out of us and our hard-earned money. They are, driving us to see how far, how much they can take out of us. But what if more of us got into the game? What if more Latinas, more Black or BIPOC people get into real estate investing? We become landlords who actually care. And yeah, we buy properties that with the goal of, gaining financial freedom and building wealth, but we do it with empathy and compassion and, find that harmony between making a profit but also providing safe and affordable housing. Again, I've taken over a few properties now where I put money in there to make the the properties that I take over, safe and affordable. And matter of fact, just to show what I'm talking about and give another example, my most recent rental property, I had a tenant who is older, and because of that, he asked me to fix the garage door. And now I could have said no and let me go off to the next tenant or whatever. But I was like, you know what? I need to fix that garage anyways. Like in the future, it's gonna help me. I needed to fix the electrical and stuff. And I had already planned that I had to do some updates and repairs on this property. So I was like, you know what, go for it. And it was, about I think it was like $1,200 to do it. And they had to dig up and stuff. And a slumlord would have been like, you know what? Hell no. You could just suck it up. Either you want this apartment or you don't, off to the next. But it benefits me to upkeep my property. And now I have a tenant there and already is paying rent and all that. Otherwise, I would have probably waited a little bit longer to find a tenant. And, what kind of quality of life would they have with having to deal with a rundown garage? And so what my captain said all those years ago has stuck with me. And now as a real estate investor, I make sure to have integrity at the foundation of everything that I do. And yes, pun is intended. Again, money is power, and we deserve to have both. I'm not interested in becoming a slumlord. I am building a future where I can support my family. I can watch my daughter grow. I can enjoy, taking a stroll in the morning, just living a slower paced life, growing my own food, but I don't want to do it at the expense of my tenants. So I want to make sure that I don't exploit my tenants, that I show others in the community that we can do this. I want to create safe and affordable housing. I want to invest in our communities because our communities tend to be just get forgotten about and lost in the sauce, right? But I also want to show our community that we can do this, that it's not, bad to invest in real estate and build wealth for your family for future generations. Because again, money is power. And for so long, that power has been held by people that doesn't look like me or you, that doesn't care about me and you, and don't invest in our neighborhoods in these rental properties with good intentions. So there are so many reasons on why we need to get into the real estate investing game. And if you're ready to get out of the sidelines and invest in real estate the right way, with purpose, compassion, and with some cultura, then check out my Keys to Cash Flow rental property bootcamp that's linked down below. I created this bootcamp for beginners, or maybe you're just stuck buying your next property. This bootcamp is going to give you all the skills and tools that you need to buy your first or next rental property. Now, if you have any questions, you could always reach me at my Instagram, send me a DM, or leave me a comment. You could always just book a free discovery call and see how we can work together to help you get your first or next rental property and how you can implement more compassion and integrity with your real estate investments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like and share this episode so others can also find this podcast. Don't forget to follow me on all my social medias listed in the show notes below, where you can also find resources to help you in your financial journey. If you're interested in becoming a guest on the podcast, you can find that information in the show notes. Other than that, thank you so much for your support, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.